Good morning, YouTube. Chris, N8PEM here. I recently acquired an Icom 703. I've been looking for a QRP HF rig to keep in my home shack, just for fun. So when I want to chase some stations on QRP, I kind of have a quote-unquote dedicated QRP rig for it. I got it in mint condition. Boxes, manuals, everything. The DSP filter already installed. It did not have an optional CW filter. So the Icom 703, you could get as options 2 different CW filters or 2 different sideband filters. I ended up going with the 500 Hertz filter. The other option would be the 250. I actually normally run a pretty tight filter on my other rigs, so 250 would have been fine. But I wanted to try something different on the Icom, so I went with the 500. It also gives me some flexibility for RIDI if I decide to run RIDI on the 703. So I'm just going to show you today how to install the filter. It's kind of silly maybe to show you how to install a filter on a 703. This is kind of a unicorn video. I don't think it's going to be super specifically helpful for anyone, but I thought it might be fun to share. So here we go. So to start, you don't really have to take the faceplate off, but I think I will just so I don't accidentally scratch it or burn it with the soldering iron. Let me set that aside. I've already taken the screws out, so there's actually 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that need to come out, and that takes this. You're taking the top cover off, if that's not obvious. It's the top cover. You don't have to take these screws out that connect the speaker. That is not necessary. You tilt this up, there's a little speaker cable in here that you disconnect real quick, and that we can set aside. So in the instruction manual, there is instructions on how to install these filters. So I've already done step 1. I've removed the top cover. Step 2, I have to disconnect some cable connectors. I just have to take these 2 off, P2 and P4. Well, that's not that hard. So, oh, and it even says on the board, red is red. So there we go. Thank you, Icom. So there's a little red shrink wrap on that goes to the red, and that goes there. So we disconnect those 2. And so why are we taking the board off? Because you can see the optional filter goes right there, and it just slides in, right? Why do we have to take the board off? Well, if this was the 706 Mark IIG, which actually has 2 optional filters, those are just plug and play. This one, the 703, which came out before the 706, you actually have to solder it into place. And there's some nuts. You got some bolts, and it comes with nuts and lock washers. And you actually have to solder and bolt it into place. So disconnect those screws. Now we have to unscrew the 10 screws on the main unit. So there's 1, 2, I might speed this up. Okay. And yeah, this is called the ground, this little thing here is the grounding spring. That seems important. Okay. So it says slide the main unit in the direction of the arrow. 1. So that's for these pieces here to clear. So we got to slide it forward just a teeny bit. I think they're kind of all clear. So these ribbons we're not actually disconnecting. That's the... Oh, here we go. See this little, can you see down here? This little thing right here is kind of an alignment nub. And that's what's holding it down. Okay, now we're in business. So now we can rotate this over, and it says just be careful of the flat cables. Okay, I'm trying my best, Icom. I'm trying my best. Okay, move some of this out of the way. And I should have some sort of soft box of some sort to lean this on. Here I'm in a pinch. I'm going to use the speaker. Oh, look at that. That's not too shabby. Well done, Chris. Okay. So first thing we do is we put this on. And then I've got the hardware right here. Oops. I'll go ahead and turn the soldering iron on, get that warmed up. So I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on this, just so you know. I don't want to do anything stupid, and you don't need to. I think they just need to be snug. So like I'm snugging them with my finger, and then maybe just a little smidge more. No need to go crazy. I know what you're thinking. I've got some really nice scrap wood to just do stuff around here. Okay, let's see how this goes. So we've got, see if I can point them out here. We've just got 4 little connections we got to make, and this one and this one and this one are pretty clear of boards. This one's a little close to some resistors there, it looks like, so we're gonna have to be careful. But I've got a thin tip and some thin solder, and looks like everything's good to go. So, all right, I've never ever put my soldering skills on camera before. We're gonna see how this goes, folks. Okay. Not terrible on that first one. It's a little nerve-wracking because if I screw this up, I got a $400 paperweight. I don't know if I've ever soldered on a rig before. I want to make sure that massages in there a little bit. And I think it's probably more important not to overwork it and do something stupid on the board than it is to get 100% coverage. You know what I'm saying? And here's the one that's a little bit tighter. Nice. That was my best one. Okay, I really should own a magnifying glass That's something I'll put on the old Hamvention shopping list. And let's see here. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we are good. Okay, turning the old Weller off. Put that stuff away. Okay, now it's time to go back in reverse. So, as I mentioned, with the 706 has 2 filter slots, and you do not need to solder those in. So that's pretty nice engineering upgrade if you are considering the 703 versus the 706. This is why you need a filter for this rig. So we're listening to this station right here on 7055, right? Now let me tune off. I'm still hearing that. It's not a strong signal, and there's a lot of noise in the band tonight. Still hearing it. Still hearing it that far off, right? Let's turn the filter on. Ah, now I can't hear that signal. I can't hear either of those signals that we're on. So you can course tune 2 signals on the band, kind of far apart. And now you just have the 1 signal locked in. A few thoughts on the 703. I've been running it for a couple weeks now with the filter installed. It's really a great rig. You know, 10 watts, automatic keyer, internal tuner. The controls are really user intuitive. It took me a minute to figure a couple things out, but now things like switching bands, tuning, changing keyer speed, changing from a paddle to a straight key, turning the filter on and off, the DSP on and off. So straightforward and easy on this rig. It's got pretty good receive. The audio sounds good. And it's just a fun old rig. So if you ever get a chance to run a 703, a 706, I'd say do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully it was entertaining, and talk soon. 7-3.